Good morning, sports fans. Lincoln and Logan County, you are in the cheap seats. We're out here at the Christian Village. Josh Komnick, along with my always helper, Jake, the furniture guy, Jake Johnston. Jake, what was going on in sports today?
Sports? Well, Cardinals decided to fall back a little bit. That's my life right there. You know,
breaks my heart.
Yeah, I know. Thought you'd be torn up over that. You know, there actually is quite a bit going on in sports right now.
Big golf tournament.
We got, of course, Major League Baseball. Looks like football's going to be breaking it down here pretty quick.
I'm happy. I'll have a fantasy team this year.
That's exactly right. They're going to announce it here pretty quick. It sounds like maybe this next week they'll have it all hammered out.
Maybe not basketball, though. Seems like all the basketball players are heading overseas.
Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody here care about basketball right
now? No, they don't.
Especially
not pro, but we do have a guy that cares a lot about college basketball right now.
Yeah.
And he's a former Railer. You've seen him in a Railer uniform. Maybe you've seen him on the internet wearing a Bucknell uniform. Ben Brackney's back here for a little bit while he's off-season training. Ben, thanks for stopping by this morning.
Thanks for having me.
What's been going on this summer, man?
Not a lot. Like I said, I just got back from school last week. I went out there for basketball camp, so I was out there for about a week or two. But other than that, I've just been working out here at home and relaxing a little bit. Good.
That's, the relaxing, and we were talking with your dad just a little bit ago. You basically there the whole year out in Pennsylvania, and a lot of people around town, around here, have been wondering, what is Bucknell, and what kind of town do you live in, and how is it, and all that kind of stuff. So fill us in on where you are making your residence right now as far as the town. We talked about it's about the same size of Lincoln.
Yep, Lewisburg, Pennsylvania. It's about right in the middle of the state. It's about the same size as Lincoln, maybe a little bigger. Really old town. Got great fan support there. It's kind of like Lincoln in a way.
Sure.
Bucknell basketball kind of runs the town. So we got great fans out there. And
so you were a celebrity in Lincoln, and now you've moved to a celebrity in Leesburg.
Well, I don't know about a celebrity yet. I'm
okay.
still kind of paying my dues. So hopefully a couple years down the road.
What a town size, school size. You're at Bucknell. What sizes of enrollment does the school have, and give us some particulars on the school?
It's about 3,500. It's not a real big school, but it's very nice. It's a beautiful campus. It's surrounded by mountains. It's definitely a beautiful place to be.
Not cornfields and bean fields.
No, it's not.
None of that stuff.
No.
Going through the process, you're going into your senior year, still, wanting to pick that school. How come Bucknell stood out more than any other school that was wanting your services?
Well, it was the first official visit I took. You get 5 of those, and it was the only one I needed. I went out there one weekend, and I just fell in love with it. And after that, my mind was made up from there. So
good. You hear a lot of people travel. Parents not being able to get there as often as maybe you like. Did that weigh in your decision as being a 12-hour drive?
Yeah, it did. Before I took my visit, I was very on the edge about Bucknell, mainly just because of the distance. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to adjust to that well.
Sure.
But once I got out there and I was in the atmosphere, the community, saw the great people around, I fell in love with it, and I knew I'd be okay.
It helps when you're part of something, as far as myself playing baseball in South Carolina, yourself playing basketball on a team. You've got friends there. You've got guys that are in the same boat as you, maybe a distance away from their families and friends and that kind of thing. So definitely helps out being on a team. On campus, most schools are 2 years you got to live in a dorm. Are you still going to be in a dorm this year, or are you going to be able to get a house or an apartment or anything like that?
Yeah, I'm still going to be in a dorm, unfortunately. But like I said, I have to pay my dues.
Sure.
And next year I'll be able to live in an apartment, so that'll be better, hopefully.
Yeah, a little more freedom.
Yeah.
You guys have a couple guards that moved on after this year. How's this look for you? You're still playing in the guard position, I'm assuming. So how's this look for you in the upcoming year?
It should help me a lot. We lost our starting point guard, which will hurt, obviously. He was a very good guard.
Co-captain, wasn't he?
Yeah. One of the best guard, probably the best guard in our league. So it'll hurt to lose him, but that'll move. I think Cameron Ayers, who was a freshman last year, he played quite a bit. I think he'll probably start at point guard this year, which will open up a guard slot off the bench. And then also we lost G.W. Boone, who played kind of a guard / stretch forward.
Was he kind of the sixth man of the team?
Yeah,
okay.
Which is kind of exactly where I'm at.
Nice.
Coach Paulson we've talked about me possibly playing a little 4, stretching out defenses, ability to shoot the ball or whatever. So that should definitely help me. Losing 2 guys in my area, it's looking a little better for me in terms of playing time this year.
Perfect. Yeah, that's
how's the physicalness of the game at that level compared to what you were used to here playing against Sacred Heart?
Yeah, it's a lot more physical for sure. The game is much more up tempo. Just bigger, stronger athletes. From high school, even high school to just junior college or Division III or any collegiate level. It's gonna be a big jump. So it's definitely a much more stronger game.
Your dad's sitting pretty close to us, so I've got to ask, and I'm sure your mom's at home listening on there. I've got to ask your major before we get into the real reason we're going to Bucknell. Yeah. We've got to talk about your major and what you're going to be studying, and we even talked just a little bit ago that Bucknell is not an easy school to attend as far as being just a regular student, not to mention throwing the fact that you're on the road all the time during the season or working out 2-3 times a day, that kind of thing. Talk a little bit about what you're thinking about studying, if you've chosen a major, and the night thing your dad was saying that he liked is that you have to graduate in 4 years.
Yeah.
And that's you don't see that at a lot of schools where basically 4 and you're done.
Yeah. Currently, I'm undeclared. I came in undeclared as a freshman, but I have narrowed it down to either accounting or business management. So I'm thinking about either one of those fields right now. I'll have to make a decision next year. But yeah, I mean, Bucknell is a very strict school in terms of education.
Sure.
And they don't let you take any more time than 4 years. I mean, you don't get a 5th year, even paying your own way. You don't get a 5th year to get done. You have to be done in 4 years. So it's definitely, you learn how to manage your time with basketball and schoolwork. So, I've been able to adjust.
Yeah, what's one thing people think out there, that the athletes have such a gravy train thing where, you talked about one of your longest trips on the bus is 6 hours away, and you're playing that night, and you still got to get back for an 8 a.m. class. I remember our farthest trip was 9 hours on the bus, and you play a doubleheader on Sunday, and you don't leave there till 5 o'clock, and you got 9 hours to get home. Then you still got to get up for an 8 o'clock class. Well, managing class, studies, a social life, basketball, baseball, whatever it may be, is not the easiest thing.
No, it's not. It's not. Like I said, you really have to learn how to manage your time. The first month or 2, I was still trying to learn how to do that. It felt like a little much at the time, but I was able to adjust, and I think I'm kind of getting it down a little bit, hopefully.
Gotten it down after 1 year, but he'll be back for 3 more. We're going to take a real quick commercial break and be back with Ben Brackney here and talk a little hoops before we let him go, and he's going to go be leaving us here around the 9:30 hour. So we'll come back, talk a little bit about hoops with Ben, and we'll be back. You're listening to the Cheap Seats on 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Back here out at the Christian Village on a beautiful Saturday morning. 96.3 FM. You're in the Cheap Seats. Josh Komnick, the furniture guy, Jake Johnston, and a member of the Bucknell Bison. Bison, right?
Yeah.
Bison. Nice. Basketball team, Ben Brackney, is back in Logan County and Lincoln for the summer, although he's getting ready to head out on a little vacation, and he's got a little something to say to somebody that woke up early across the U.S., and he's got a little shout-out to give out.
Shout out to my girlfriend, Corinne Collins. She, I think it's about 7 a.m.
Yeah.
In California. She.
You made her wake up this early.
I told her she didn't have to, but she was all for it. So
there you go. And he's headed out that way. You're headed out.
Yeah. Right after this, I got to catch a flight to San Francisco.
Nice.
And get to spend some time with her for a week.
So he makes plans, makes time for the Cheap Seats, only to have Ben in. But Ben, we talked about the school, we talked about the academics. Let's get into the real reason we're out at Bucknell, basketball. Last year, you make the tournament. We talked about it right before the show. I was just wondering, what was the best thing that happened last year for you as a basketball player? I know you got to learn a lot and do all those kind of things, but was it the tournament? Was it a place that you played at that was, you know, we see on TV, but you don't get to experience it much?
Yeah, I mean, with the exception of the tournament, obviously that's a great experience. But playing at Villanova was really cool. It's not a big arena like you see in most big time schools. It's a small gym. They got bleachers, you know. But it's very loud. Student section's huge, right on top of you, and it was just a real cool atmosphere to play in. So that was a good experience.
And a great team that you played in Villanova, as though they struggled a little bit toward the late end.
Yeah.
But a member of the Patriot League. Give us some teams that are also in the Patriot League that you go up against every year.
Well, we've got Army and Navy, and then we have Holy Cross, Lehigh, who else? Lafayette. I think that's it. American. I don't like American, so I just kind of forget about them.
There you go. We already have a rivalry after 1 year. Has been set with Ben. Doesn't like American, so we'll get after them. But the team, you talked about it, Jake brought it up a little bit ago. The team coming up this year looks strong. You got some guys coming back. We were talking with your dad a little bit. They got a big guy coming back that's going to be good, just a junior. Talk a little bit about the season that's upcoming and maybe a little more of the plans to where you fit in this team this year.
Well, like I said a little bit ago, we lost 3 seniors. We lost our starting point guard, which are hurt. But we do have the league player of the year, Mike Muscala, who's our big man, about 6'10", 6'11", very skilled. So as long as we have him, you know, I think we're going to have a chance to compete in the league. We have Bryson Johnson back, who had one of the best 3-point percentages in the nation last year. I think he was top 10 in the nation. Cameron Ayers is back, who played a lot of minutes last year. Brian Cohen, Defensive Player of the Year last year, is back as a senior. But as for me fitting in, you know, like I said, there's a guard spot opening up with losing Daryl. And then GW being gone, that opens up kind of a guard / stretch forward spot, which is kind of my area too. So hopefully I can earn my way into one of those spots.
Last year was probably a little bit different for you, as was when I went to my first year at the bigger school in baseball. I didn't get a chance to play, and you're not used to that. Was that something that took a little bit for you to kind of cope with? I know it was for me when you grow up playing and never coming off the floor or never coming out of the game, and you come now to a place where, man, I got to sit here and I work my butt off in practice, and now I can't go out there and do it. It was an adjustment for me. How was it for you?
It was definitely an adjustment. You know, it was frustrating at times. Sure. You know, I didn't know at times what I was doing wrong, what more I had to do. But I was a part of a great team. You know, we had a great year as a team. So it was a good experience for me. You know, and now I know what I have to do next year to get on the floor, and you know, hopefully I could get it done.
Hitting the weights, as you said, one of the biggest things. What was a couple other things that you really had to do different in order from being a railer to moving into to Division I basketball?
Well, I think the biggest adjustment was defense.
You started playing now, or
what's that?
You started playing?
I'm trying.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. But coming from a 1-2-2 zone, playing man-to-man, you know, it's definitely a big change up. You know, there's more to it than just guarding your man.
Right.
But I think as the year went on, I definitely developed as a defensive player. You know, I improved greatly, and hopefully I could keep making strides and do enough to get on the floor.
That's the goal, to get back out there. And you know, are a lot of your games on the internet? The people that are listening at home can check out the Bucknell Bison website. And are you streaming live? Can the Railer fans that want to check you out can they still see most of the games? Yeah,
on our website, I think, what is it, Dad? It's Bison something. There's some kind of streaming audio, streaming video. I'm not sure if you have to pay or not, but yeah. But there's definitely something on there. Just about every game is streaming on the internet. So you go to our website, you'll be able to find it on the men's basketball page. So.
What else about Bucknell facilities? You say that it's a great town to play in. They have a lot of fan support. How are the facilities, and has there been anything new growing in Bucknell?
Well, our gym is one of the biggest Actually, I think it is the biggest, the nicest gym in the Patriot League. It's a very nice, small arena, and then facilities, weights, weight room, tracks, everything like that. I mean, there's definitely a lot of facilities to get work done. But like I said, just the campus as a whole, it's beautiful, especially in the fall and the spring. It's just a beautiful place to be. So I definitely, I love being out there.
Sounds like a good road trip for the furniture guy and myself on some Friday night that we can make a Saturday game.
Oh yeah,
you drive.
Wisconsin?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we could do that too. Minnesota. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, your dad was mentioning before we let you go. Where's going to be the closest place that you're going to be playing around here for next year? You got any idea?
As of now, it's Minnesota, which I think is our opening game of the year. But there's a chance we could be playing Vanderbilt, which is in Nashville. That's a little closer.
Okay.
But I think those two are the
Last year you were at Marquette?
Yeah, Marquette last year, which was about 3.5, 4 hours, I think. But this year we don't really have any that close. So hopefully my junior or senior year we can get one in Illinois or somewhere around here.
Maybe work in Evansville.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to my coach. That'd be pretty cool.
We could check out two Railers as Jordan Nelson is down at Evansville. But Ben, we want to say thanks for stopping in. We know you got to catch a flight to get out there, but thanks for stopping in, and maybe we'll see you again during the summer. If not, good luck, and we'll be following you all season.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We'll be back here in just a couple minutes. The furniture guy and I got a little baseball to talk about, and I've got a big giveaway going on here for anybody that can get the trivia question right. So stay tuned. We'll be back here from the Christian Village. You're on 96.3 FM and WLCN online.com.